Good afternoon, traders. It is Wednesday, July 29th, 2015, and the U.S. stock market is closed. Hey, we made a little money today, but I am not very happy. We had about $8,000 in open trade equity yesterday, and the Dow rallied today. It actually went up 121 points. It opened positive, was never negative at any point during the day, and yet we saw that $8,000 shrivel down to $900 when we finally got out of it. And for that reason, I'm just feeling like this latest rally that we've had the last 2 days is kind of phony. I've traded this thing a lot, and normally if we got a good headstrong bull market going on and we have $8,000 in open trade equity, and the next day, even if the market opened neutral, but certainly if it opens up, we look to see our equity jump to maybe 10,000, maybe 16,000, even $20,000. That's typical. That's typical of the system. And when I see $8,000 shrivel down to $900 when the overall market is up, I say it's a weak market. And so I was very unhappy with this open this morning. And then, on top of it all, this thing continues this creep behavior that we saw yesterday. No big spikes, just creep up. Yesterday we had 12 positions that, as I say, ended up coming to pretty much nothing when we got out of them. Today we get back in, we get into 11 more, and rather than have $8,000, we have $5,000. So I am not real. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think tomorrow is going to do much for us, quite honestly. This thing looks very toppy and weak here. I'm calling it down. It may even come down hard. That's my assessment. I just think this rally we've had the last couple of days is kind of window dressing. I think it's kind of fakey, and I think there's a lot of selling going on in these stocks. That's my opinion. Now, the good news is we are up $5,000 in open trade. All of that basically is coming from one outlier. We did get into an outlier today. Thank God for these outliers. They're really saving us from catastrophe. And I'll show you that in a second. I'll show you kind of what happened today. I'll show you three stocks. Nothing here is terrible, but it's frustrating. This is BlackBerry. We bought this yesterday pretty much out of the gate. It closed marginally in our favor. Then we get out of this. We did get a little pop up. Okay, so we get about $1,300 there getting out of BlackBerry, but then it goes up and up and up and up, and yeah, we get re-entered, and then it pulls back. So we take out $1,300 positive on the exit. We get back in, and we're holding negative $700 going into tomorrow, and this doesn't look real encouraging to me. That was kind of one of the frustrating trades. As I say, we made money today. Nothing was too bad. This was another. There's some frustration here, although this was actually a very good trade. This is EMES, Emergent Energy Systems. We had bought this yesterday. It had closed a little in our favor, nothing much. It gaps down this morning, but then rebounds immediately, but pulls back just in time to get us out. This was not the greatest exit point. We did take $1,300 positive, out of EMS, but then it starts to climb and climb and climb. We get re-entered. When I saw this re-entry, I wanted to die. I just thought for sure this was not going to go anywhere, but it does go there somewhere, and it climbs up, ends up closing on its high up here. We're holding almost $3,000 positive in emergent energy system. So that has turned out to be a really good trade. Now I'll show you the one that really carried the day. We did have quite a few losses in there. In fact, we had 11 positions. 5 were positive, 6 were negative. So we didn't have a very good ratio there. But this was the thing that really contributed to our positive open trade equity today. This is Shake Shack, which I've called Shit Shack because it has been so bad for us. Well, one of the things that I learned, however, that you get pretty disgusted with some stocks, but as long as they have some volume in them and aren't too thin, I'd like to stay with them and not throw them out because of poor performance, because the stocks will tend to reverse that poor performance. And Shake Shack kind of tried to do this today. We got into this thing about the beginning of the second hour. It just took off. It screamed. And we're holding about $7,000 open trade in Shake Shack. So that looks really good. We'll just have to see what happens tomorrow, but that really looks fine. So, in spite of the fact I'm pretty pessimistic about the way this overall market is moving. We had an okay day, and let's just hope for something better tomorrow. Maybe I'm wrong on that, calling it down hard tomorrow. I hope so. Anyway, we'll have to see. This is Trader Bob signing off. I'll see you tomorrow on Thursday.